Xiangling only challenge. Here are the rules. I can only use Xiangling in battle. Any puzzles that require another element can be completed with another character. No co-op, and all polearms are allowed. Just note that this was streamed using PlayStation 4 stream feature, so every now and then there will be a notification that shows up. Just tolerate it. With the rules out of the way, let's see if you can beat Genshin Impact using only Xiangling. We start our journey by getting up out of a chair. The reason I don't show me wishing for Xiangling is because this was just a reroll account that I decided to turn into a challenge account.
He seems like a short-tempered guy. Was it something we said?
After completing the first prologue quest, you need to complete 3 domains tied to 3 different characters. Amber's domain is first, and it was pretty simple. Since this domain requires Pyro, I was easily able to complete it. Next was Kaya's domain, which was fairly simple. I just walked around the fire and jumped over the water. Next was Lisa's domain, and you might think this is the first domain where we actually have to use a trial character, but nope, watch this. Yeah, I don't know why that's there either. Our reward for beating all of those domains is... yeah, this is a problem. In Genshin Impact, there are a bunch of quests locked behind AR gates. To be able to do those quests, you need to get the certain AR and then you'll be able to do it. Sometimes you'll also have to do other quests, but that doesn't happen a lot during the playthrough. There are various ways of getting AR kind of easily, but it is all just very grindy. After over an hour of grinding, we were finally able to reach AR 10, and we were rewarded with some wishes. Now what did we actually get? Well... After that disappointment, it's time to return to Mondstadt. We spot Jean talking to the Fatui, but we really don't care. So we just tell her to get her ass back to the Knights of Favonius. We burn Kaya, and show Jean and Lisa our crystal, but they have no idea where it's from, so this conversation was useless, except for this. We burn them for wasting our time. We spot a booby trap without the booby. Haha, do you get it? And chase after them. We find him and he forces us to clean some tears. After doing that for him, he ran away. We meet up with him at Windrise and get interrupted by...
There are a few who are unhappy with my arrival.
Here's the thing about this Eye of the Storm. It is pretty easy to knock down its HP, but actually being able to deal damage to it without it flying up into the air is a fucking impossibility. And then he uses this barrier move where you have to glide up in the air, but the air currents disappear as soon as they appear, so you just constantly take damage. And when he drops down so you can hit him, he stays down for 0.02 milliseconds, so you better make that time count, bitch! Thankfully, you don't have to fight many of these, but it's still annoying when they do pop up. Then he tells us that because we interrupted him while he was trying to cleanse Dvalin, he wasn't able to cleanse Dvalin, and Dvalin is still corrupted. To repay him, we have to do some stealth to get the Holy Lyre Dehemel. But when we reach it, somebody else steals it. Because we were spotted by the Knights of Favonius, we had to run away. But while we were running away, we decided to take a detour to get a chest. It's more important. As a result, we are now inside Angel's Share. We meet the greatest human to ever exist, D-Luke.
What did I just witness?
We leave and then immediately enter Angel Share again, and Jean's just there.
Wait, what?
D-Luke says he knows where the Fatui hideout is, so we're off! We get automatically turned into D-Luke's, which makes me very happy, but we can't use them, so... The entire hideout was pretty easy until this asshole.
Where did you rats scurry out from?
This enemy was probably the 3rd worst enemy I had to fight during this entire challenge. First off, he has moves that do so much damage even though I'm at world level 0. World level fucking 0. And then he goes invisible, and I can't auto-track him, so I have to actually look for him, and Quill was basically useless during that time. You know, my main way of dealing pyro damage, which is what you entirely use Xiangling for. And when he's inflicted with an element, you know, where you can actually see his outline, you can't actually auto-track it. Which you'd think they would add, but nope, they just want to make my life harder. And then he has this zinger of an attack. What the fuck? Thank God D-Luke was still there so I could actually heal myself after I was killed. But still, this guy was a piece of shit. After beating that bitch, we were finally able to get the Liyue. After teleporting back to Mondstadt, we saw... I think this is a side effect of all that grinding earlier. But the Liyue is in no state to perform. So we go to hunt down some teardrop crystals. But I think now is about a good time to do an artifact review. We are running the 2-piece Instructor set and 2-piece Resolution of Sojourner set. Resolution of Sojourner is here to increase our attack and make us stronger, while Instructor is here literally because it was an option. It's better than all the other options I had. The first teardrop crystal required us to beat a Ruin Guard, which was bulky, but it was not that hard to beat, which was a relief after the bitch that was the agent.
Wow!
At the domain for the second teardrop crystal, there was an Eye of the Storm. I was gonna throw my controller against the wall, but then I realized you don't even need to fight it to open the domain door. The domain for the second teardrop crystal wasn't that hard, just a bunch of hilly churls, and the pyro slimes were annoying but not unmanageable. At the end of the domain there was... Ladies and gentlemen, let me introduce you the second worst enemy during this entire playthrough. The biggest problem with this little shit was that the elemental shield that I had couldn't be broken by my elemental skills or bursts. I could only heal it with physical moves, which deteriorated shield by about as much as the Raiden Shogun boss's health bar. Yes, the Raiden fucking Shogun. Then he has moves that have gigantic hitboxes and they stay there for absolutely ages. And it's basically insulting that after you knock down the elemental shield, it's a beatdown. I think the worst part about this fight was that I realized that there was a water pool that I could have just easily put it in and then this elemental shield would have been destroyed in like 5 seconds. But instead I didn't realize that at the time, so I had to put it... So I had to hit it with my physical moves that did jack shit. You wanna know what I'd rather do than fight the Pyro Abyss Mage?
I'd prefer to be crushed to death by a meteorite.
After that eventful battle, we got to the next teardrop crystal, and then after that we quickly stormed a hilly trail camp and raided their chest for the teardrop crystal. With all the teardrop crystals collected, we returned to the Dawn Winery to cleanse them, preventing. He runs away again. This time he goes over to Star Snatch Cliff. Up at the top of the cliff, he plays his music. Yes, Venti's playing was so bad that it broke the Liyue. Duvalla didn't even show up. We tell Venti to get good, and for saying that, he did this to us. Well, You wanna see what 4 hours of grinding looks like in 1 second? I was finally able to start the final part of the Mondstadt Archon quest. My favorite part about this Archon quest is that it's so to the point. Within the first 10 minutes of the quest, we've already made it to Storm Terror's lair. And might I add that even though Storm Terror's lair only has 3 songs, they're some of the best songs in the soundtrack in my opinion. We make it to the front of the gate, but it's blocked by a seal. For some reason in this scene, Venti just mocks Paimon.
It's stuck.
It's stuck.
Let's make a detour then. Heading up.
Let's make a detour then. Heading up.
I think they just put that in because they had no idea what to write for Venti. We make it up to the top of the tower, but it seems the door leading to Storm Terror is sealed off by 4 light actuators. Completing them should be simple enough. Oh, for fuck. At least for the last Pyro Abyss Mage, there was only one enemy, which was the Pyro Abyss Mage. But this time there's 2 other Samatrils. You wanna know what the worst part about that is? They're both Dendro, meaning that in tandem with the Pyro Abyss Mage and the Dendro attacks, I suffered burning the entire battle if I didn't take them out first. But if I did that, I would not have enough time to knock down the Pyro Abyss Mage's shield, which meant I had to deal with burning the entire battle while I tried to take down the Pyro Abyss Mage's shield. I had to do this fight twice because I lost the first attempt because of time. On the second attempt I was able to do it, but I suffered a lot of damage in the process. I know there's multiple other Pyro Abyss mages to come, and I dread it. With all the light actuators, it was finally time to face the Crawlin. Dvalin is often considered the easiest weekly boss in the game, and honestly, I'd agree. In this challenge, he also wasn't that much of a challenge. Getting his shield down was honestly the biggest problem. You would often use a bow character to get his shield down faster, but I didn't have that. So I just had to wait until he dropped down so I could actually hit him and break his shield. After he was knocked down and I can hit his blood clots, his HP went down real fast because Dvalin has low HP. In no time at all, the battle was over. I saved Dvalin. With Dvalin defeated and saved, we returned to Mondstadt and destroyed the Hilichurl equipment before we were even told to. Next, now we can talk to Kaya and reject Amber.
Huh.
We then go to the cathedral and give the lyre back to a very tired sounding Barbara. Now, I'm one of the 2 people who actually like her new voice over her old voice, but this first conversation with her, it sounds like she didn't quite get it down yet. This must have been one of the earlier conversations recorded with her new voice. Venti fixes the lyre, and then he tells us about some weird stuff.
Ah, well, you know, time for takeoff if you're in London. Oh, the Revelier. Ah, yes, what a gliding me fast there. Ah, traveler, you Roy Belland, welcome to my tea party. Bonjour, you fucking ass!
Should have held your tongue.
We wake up after being knocked down and are greeted with Barbara. She tells us that the funny green guy went to Windrise. So then we went to Windrise and Luigi was like, LOL, go fuck yourself! And then AR locked us. But at least Mondstadt is finally finished. Well, that was fun. That was just Mondstadt though. It was pretty easy and not really much challenges except for the Pyro Abyss Mage. But overall, I had fun. But the real challenge is going to definitely be in Liyue, Inazuma, and Sumeru. Mondstadt was just a teaser of what's to come. I've done a previous playthrough challenge in Genshin where I only used Diona, and Mondstadt was also the easiest there, so yeah. Mondstadt is just gonna be a teaser of what's to come. Based off of how long it took me just to edit this, I don't know when Liyue, Inazuma, and Sumeru will be out, but I'm done playing them. Just haven't started editing them. But until then, I'll leave you with that.